as possible, switch them around, and then do the finish as the burn. My starting hand, I've got the Chrononomy Golden Jet, the Mud Golem, Tusper Rocket, Tula Guardian, and Ballista Squad. My opponent is running an Adventurer token, so they've got that in defense position, so that's the archetype itself. They've activated the spell card, which protects their monsters. They activate a Disciples of the True Draco, and they set a card face down. They'll normal summon one of their True Draco monsters by sending the card to the graveyard. They'll then destroy one of their face down cards, and use the Adventurer effect to draw into their Griffin. They'll special summon the Griffin in defense position and end their turn. I draw into the Chrononomy Pyramid Eye Tablet, but I'll start off with my Mud Golem. I then activate the Eye Tablet. I'll get rid of the True Draco monster so that they can't use any additional effects. I'll set the Ballista Squad face down and end my turn. My opponent activates their Pot of Duality. And so they've got Infinite Impermanence, they've got Anti-Spell Fragrance, and they got a True Draco card. The True Draco card is the one that they search for. They'll set it face down. And they'll use their Adventurer spell cards effect to search for another Adventurer card. They'll discard it to the graveyard and use its effect by banishing it. They search for another spell card. They set one card face down. They'll send the card to the graveyard to summon another True Draco and use its effect from the graveyard to destroy my Mud Golem. Before that happens, I decide to use the Ballista Squad, so at least, I get the benefit of its destruction. And I target the Ignis Heat. My opponent uses the Griffin effect to send it back to the deck to negate my Ballista Squad's effect. They'll attack directly using their token. I draw into a Chronomaly monster, which is fine, it's level 5 that protects you. I'll normal summon the Golden Jet. And I'll attack into the token. With nothing else to do, I'll end the turn there. They activate a spell card with the ability to then generate another token. And they'll search for their Griffin by sending a different card to the graveyard. The Griffin's effect special summons itself in face-up defense position before they end their turn. I'll summon the Tasper Rocket and activate its effect. I'll send the Magdalene Globe to the graveyard. And I'll target the Griffin. My Golden Jet will then attack over their token. And I'll end the turn. They set a card face down and activate their continuous spell card to search for a adventure card, and they'll discard it. Using its effect, by banishing itself, they can then recover one of their adventurer spell cards. The spell card is then activated. This will generate another token. I use the effect of the monster in my hand. By discarding it, it prevents the destruction of my Tasper Rocket. I've drawn into my Torrential Tribute, and my opponent, for whatever reason, just decides to quit. It would have been nice to have seen what they would have been able to do, but oh well, that's just how they chose to be. I've decided to start looking at some other archetypes just to splash some things together, and in this case we're looking at some of the BES higher level monsters. There's the core, we've got the Thunder T45, there's the Cosmo Town, the Cosmo monsters are also within this deck. So you'll see spaceship style of monsters. But generally they do quite well in this format, considering they don't have any Xyz or any extra deck monsters, they just tend to be quite tanky themselves. So we got a couple of secret rares, there's a Dragoonity in there, there's a Victory Viper, there's a couple of those, the Icarus attack, and we have a very decent Cosmo monster there, there's the level 8. This has unlocked the Harpy Lady pack, but I decided to go straight in for these spaceships. We've got a Storm Neos, the Cosmo Town, there's a couple of Cosmo monsters in there, the T45 and a Suship Xyz monster. Wasn't exactly what I was expecting, we're still missing quite a few of the key cards before we can even think about running any of these decks. Ironically, we've got quite a few of the rarer ones and very limited of the normal, easier to access monsters. So my starting hand, I've got the Aztec Mask, the Mud Golem, the Magdala Globe, the Ballista Squad, and a Jelly Cannon. My opponent sets 2 cards face down and a monster face down. I draw into my skill successor. And I normal summon the Mud Golem. I attack into their monster. Unfortunately, it's a Naturia Firefly. That has the effect of reducing my monster's attack points by 300 times the number of Naturia monsters they have on the field. Since there's one, that means my Mud Golem became 100 life points less than their defense points, so I take 100 points in damage. I decide to set all 3 cards I've got face down. And the ending of my turn. My opponent gets rid of their Firefly to summon the Naturia Bamboo Shoot. And I know exactly what this does. Because it's been summoned in this way, it means I cannot activate any spell or trap cards. All of them are negated, all of them are stopped. And I know once they get this type of strategy off, that it's quite difficult to come back from. You do have to rely on having something stronger than the 2000 attack points to beat over it to start with. Only then can you actually defeat it. I choose to set the monster face down because there isn't anything I can do and end the turn. My opponent then normal summons their Naturia Antjaw. They'll attack with the Bamboo Shoot and follow up with the Antjaw. It's only 400 life points in damage, but every time I would consider special summoning, they're then able to special summon a level 3 or lower monster. So things start to add up very quickly for their advantage. I have the Crystal Skull, which I just drew into. Unfortunately, that does have a problem to it. I have no choice but to go for the Magdala Globe. I'll go straight into the battle phase. I'm going to be getting rid of that Antjaw. My opponent activates the safe zone, so that protects their monster. It does prevent it from attacking directly, but that's not much of a disadvantage. I'm forced to end my turn. My opponent goes straight into the battle phase and destroys my Magdala Globe with their Bamboo Shoot. They'll set 1 card face down and end their turn. I draw into my Chronomaly Pyramid Eye Tablet, which would have been perfect if they hadn't had the Bamboo Shoot out already. It would have actually, if I'd started off with the Mud Golem and this, I might not have been in the situation I currently am in. I have no choice but to play into the Antjaw's effect to special summon my monster. I'll then use its effect, and my opponent will use the Yugioh effect, chaining it to mine. They'll special summon their Fruit Fly in defense mode. I'll special summon the Mud Golem in attack position. But unfortunately that also triggers off the Yugioh again. The monster they summon isn't particularly threatening, it's just that, you know, I can't really do anything about it, so the best thing for me to do is at least clear that new monster that I've just allowed them to summon. Even if it is only 500 points. But my opponent activates another card, their continuous trap card. By tributing their monster, my monsters are then basically punished. They then get to substitute that into a Naturium Mantis, and I'm forced to end my turn. Well, I can go into an attack against the Yugioh, but it's only 100 life points they're taking. I then end my turn. My opponent activates one of their armory cards. This is a trap that allows them to search for any of the equipped spells, and it equips straight onto one of their monsters. What Power Guardian of the Guardian does is, every time a monster is attacked or attacks, it puts a counter on itself, and for every counter, that monster gains 500 attack points. If a monster is threatened to be destroyed by either card effect or by battle, they can then remove one of the counters from that spell card, rather than destroying the monster. So my opponent has equipped it to their bamboo shoot and they attack into my monster. It now becomes a 2500 attack monster, and they follow up with their Mantis. It's a very tricky deck to face off against, especially if you don't have the natural synergy to prevent it. I drew into the worst possible card I could have drawn into, because by special summoning that, they then totally dominate their field. They're then able to use the Yugioh's effect to bring out another monster, and so I decided to just end the turn. My opponent normal summons a monster. This one, the Naturium Marron, has the ability to send a card from the deck to the graveyard, and it can use its effect to recover a couple of monsters from the graveyard, put them back in the deck, and then draw a new card. They will gain attack points with their Naturium Bamboo shoot, so it'll become a 3000 attack monster. And it was very easy to see once I stopped getting control of that part of the duel that I was instantly going to lose. So my opponent is going to be starting off first. I have my Crystal Bones in hand, the Golden Jet, the Moai, the Guardian Sphinx, and I have the Ballista Squad. My opponent is running an Adventurer engine, so they've got the token that they're bringing out, and the spell card. With the spell card, they're able to search for the Griffin from the deck to the hand. They'll send a spell card to the graveyard and activate the effect of the Griffin to special summon itself in defense position. They then equip a equip card from the deck to the field of the token. They'll set a card face down and end their turn. They activate their Vanity's Emptiness, which means I can no longer special summon. I decide to summon the Golden Jet in attack position and set my Ballista Squad. They use the Equip Spells effect, and I believe that will send my card back to the hand. So I'll activate the Ballista Squad immediately. Tributing my Golden Jet. And targeting their Griffin. With Griffin's effect, it will return itself to the deck. I should have probably targeted the token to get rid of the Vanity's Emptiness, but that was my mistake. At least I've cleared the Griffin from the field. My opponent changes their Adventure token to attack position. And attacks directly. They then end the turn. I draw into my Chronomy Mud Golem. I'm forced to set it face down and end my turn. My opponent is only able to attack with their monster and end their turn. I draw into the Aztec Mask. There isn't really anything I can do about it. I'm forced to then set my Mud Golem in defense position. I'm basically waiting on any decent trap card to help me. Hopefully something like Jelly Cannon would do. The effect returns my Mud Golem to the hand. They attack directly and end the turn. I draw into my Chronomy Temple, which again is not useful at the moment. I'll activate it. end the turn. My opponent goes straight into battle phase and destroys me. So that, in that case, it was token beatdown. It just completely wiped me out. This one, I'm going second, so hopefully this will work out a bit better than the previous match. I've got 2 mine machines, a crystal bones, a mud golem, and the ballista squad in my starting hand. My opponent starts off by setting a few cards face down, and they normal summon their Solar Flare Dragon. With this card, I know what it does. It's part of a burn strategy. If you have more than one of it on the field, then you cannot attack either, and every end phase of their turn, you take 500 life points in damage. So you have to get rid of it as quickly as you can. I opted to just go straight into the Mud Golem. Hopefully I'll just be able to attack over it. I tried to attack over their monster, but they activate their Ring of Destruction. That's going to destroy my Mud Golem. I'll take 1,700 points of damage, so does my opponent, but with the previous amount of burn damage, I've already taken 500. At this point, I go into main phase 2. I then special summon the Crystal Bones. Using its effect, I'll revive the Mud Golem in attack position. And I'll set the Ballista squad face down. My opponent sets a card face down. They'll set their monster in defense position. And they'll send my 2 monsters to the graveyard to special summon a Lava Golem to my field. Every time it's my standby phase, I'll take 1,000 points of additional damage, but I know exactly what my opponent was doing. I activate Ballista Squad immediately, destroying my Lava Golem and getting rid of their Solar Flare Dragon. This way I don't take any additional burn damage. So he has absolutely been outplayed. I draw into my Stonehenge methods. But I will normal summon the Mayan Machine. and I'll attack directly with it. I'll set my Stonehenge methods face down and end the turn. My opponent sets another card face down. And they'll send my Mine Machine to the graveyard to special summon a Volcanic Queen. I'm just having a quick read of its effect. I know it has the ability to do 1,000 points of additional damage, so that's one good thing. So I'll start off by using that effect, getting rid of my Stonehenge methods to do so. At the moment the Stonehenge methods isn't doing me any favours, so I might as well just scrap it for some additional burn effect. My opponent in response activates their Just Desserts, so I take 500 points of damage for every monster I have on my field. It's only 500 points. They then activate their Chain Detonation, so the whole point of this is to do some more damage. It's another 500 points, and depending on how many chains you have will depend on how quickly it will recover. And then my opponent activates their Accumulated Fortune. So if it's a part of a chain link 4 or higher, they then get to draw 2 cards. With its effect, I only take 1,000 points of damage. I'll switch the Volcanic Queen into attack mode. I'll normal summon my Mine Machine. And I'll go into the battle phase and destroy him with his own monster. That's the problem when you give these monsters. Unless you're able to defeat them yourself, it's the same as with the kaijus, then it's not helpful for you. It'll actually be the undoing of yourself. We're going to be seeing if we can get some new packs, send more support for the spaceships. Seems to be getting something good in here. Oh, there's an alien card in there. We have definitely... Oh, there's a couple of the BS cards, and we've got a Fright for Fusion Monster. There's a Sea Koala, I like that, and there's one of these sharks. I think that was the Lantern Shark. So that's support for Shark, the character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Hopefully the second pack will give us a little bit more luck. This one, there's a Gravekeeper in, there's a Fluffle Leo, that's a Scapegoat, and we've got double copies of some Cosmo support cards. I don't know what I was talking about, it's not Cosmo-O, that's a Pokemon. And then we've got a third pack. There's a Yellow Baboon, there is an Apple Magician, we've got some decent BS support. That's perfect, that's actually more towards what I need. And we should be able to get one more pack. There's a Token Stampede, an Elemental Hero Sparkman, Boss Rush, that's definitely a card we need. We've got a couple of BS cards, there's Cosmo in there, there's a Morphtronic card, there's an Infernoid card. Boss Rush is the key card as well as the field spell. Unfortunately, we don't have any of those, but we seem to be closing the gap a little bit more. Ironically, we're a bit top heavy, we've got more of the ultra rares than we do of some of the normal monsters. So I wanted to actually adjust what we're playing. I was playing previously the Chronomnies, now I'm actually going to be playing some Gimmick Puppets. Another one of my favourite archetypes. We'll start off by setting a Ring of Destruction. I didn't feel there was anything else I wanted to play, because everything is towards going into the extra deck. And as you can see, we've gone out of the event into just normal play, because you can see in the left corner I've got an extra deck which isn't allowed for the no extra deck event. My opponent sets a card exactly opposite mine, so I don't know whether that's an impermanence. They have normal summoned their Cyber Dragon Nova in attack position. No, this is the core. They activate the core to search for the Cyber Repair Plant. They activate their card. This will bring out one of their level 5 light machine type monsters, so that'll be Cyber Dragon from the deck to that field. They draw into the Cyber Dragon Nashta. They use their Cyber Dark Claws effect, so by discarding it, they're then able to search for any Cyber Dark spell or trap card to add from their deck to their hand. So they go with Cybernetic Horizon. And they'll activate that card. They pitch a different Cyber Dragon Core and send another monster to the graveyard. They'll search for a Cyber Dragon. They use the Cyber Dragon Nashta's effect by discarding their Cyber Dragon. They can special summon Nashta to the field in defense position and use its effect. To revive a Cyber Dragon. They'll then link summon their Seizure. At this point, I don't want them going off with any more combos, so I use the Ring of Destruction on the Seizure. Causes 2,100 points of damage to both of us. They activate their Cyber Dark Realm. They've searched out their Cyber Dark Edge. And they'll normal summon the Cyber Dark Edge. With its effect, they equip it with the Cyber Dark Claw from the graveyard. and they'll attack directly with both monsters. He draws into the Gimmick Puppet duel. At this point there isn't really anything I can do, so I do have to use the Condolence Puppet to at least set up my graveyard partially. I'll send the Twilight Joker to the graveyard. I'll normal summon the Scissor Arms and use its effect. Unfortunately, my opponent says no to that by using the Infinite Impermanence. I'll special summon the Magnet Doll in attack position. I'll overlay the 2 monsters to link summon the Link 2 monster. And with its effect, I'm then able to then search for a Gimmick Puppet monster and either add it to my hand or special summon it to the field. I'll choose the Pistol. And I will special summon the Druid Doll. In face-up defense position. I'll activate the effect of my Puppet Ritual. If I have 2,000 or more life points less than my opponent, I can then summon 2 monsters that are Gimmick Puppets from my graveyard back to the field. Now this gives me options. I can technically go for Gimmick Puppet of Leo, or I could go for any of the other Gimmick Puppets, considering that you need a requirement of a minimum of 2 level 8 monsters. As you can see, I'm open to using any of them if I wanted to. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay for number 15. Technically, it's classed as the weakest of the 3. It was the first to be introduced. It was the first Quattro used within a duel. And it was actually used against 2 of Yuma's friends who were just learning how to duel. But with its effect, I'm then able to detach a monster to destroy their Cyber Dragon. Since I detached the Druid Doll, which was actually the smarter move, I can then use Druid Doll's effect to detach and banish my Scissor Arms to the graveyard. I can then overlay for number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. So there you go, I was able to bring out 2 of the number monsters in the very same turn. I won't be really using its effect, I don't see the point. So instead I'll be going straight for the Well, I'll start off with the effect. By having a look at this, I think this protects the monster, but I don't need it for now. I'll use the counter anyway, just in the off chance that I need it. It does put a token on all of my monsters. And I'll end the turn. That's mostly because I can't use it during my battle phase. I'm prevented from going into the battle phase. I know it's a risk because I do lose potentially 2 of my monsters, but it's anything to try and get rid of his Cyber Dark Edge. My opponent then attacks me directly. Luckily, it's still 200 points short. And if they'd been able to finish me off, then, you know, they would have had the monsters in hand. Clearly they didn't. The effect actually now triggers, destroying every monster on the field, and they take 1,500 life points in damage. It all depends on what I draw into now. Unfortunately, the jelly cannon, as good as it is, would have been nice to have drawn into a monster like Egghead, because that has 1,600 attack points. It would have been enough to actually bring my monster back. I don't really have a choice but to go straight into battle. The Bistol can't summon itself, and the Druidol, there's no point in summoning it if I'm not going to use it as part of the Xyz summon. I'll set my Jelly Cannon face down and end the turn. My opponent then normal summons a Cyber Dragon because they've got no monsters on the field. Annoyingly, this enables them to bring out a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Luckily for me, I do have the Jelly Cannon. Otherwise, I would have lost the second this turn started. And they must have been quite arrogant to think I didn't have anything that could stop them, because otherwise they would have brought something else out. Ironically, I'm being defeated by a card from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 3, of which you would imagine the number of monsters that came out of a series, you know, a few years later would be able to beat over. But the Gimmick Puppets are quite limited in their support. They've had a couple of rounds of support since the initial introduction, but nothing to the level that's necessary. And this is frustrating, isn't it? Because I draw into my second copy of the Puppet Ritual, but my opponent's life points are no longer going to be 2,000 life points difference or more. Unless my opponent was to, for example, manage to increase their life points. I have no choice but to bring the Druidol into defense position by banishing one of my monsters. I'll have to set the card just as bait. and end my turn. My opponent activates another copy of the Cyber Dark Realm. They search for their Cyber Dark Keel. They activate their Cyber Dark Impact, returning the Cyber Dark Keel, the Cyber Dark Edge, and the Cyber Dark Horn. To summon Cyber Dark Dragon. With its effect, it's then able to equip a monster from the graveyard that happens to be a dragon type. They go with their Cyber Dark Claw. That makes it currently a 3,200 attack threat. I lose the Druidol, but at least, you know, it's the Druidol and not my life points. It all depends on what I draw next as to what happens. If I can draw into something decent, then I might be able to actually bring something out. If not, then I've probably lost the duel immediately. As you can see, the 200 is flashing on my screen. That isn't bad. Bringing the Egghead would make a bit of a difference. I could go into the Bistol, and I could go into a rank 8 Xyz monster, so I could go into the Gimmick Puppet. I was thinking probably not Strings, it'll probably be the other one. It'll be Giant Grinder, because that will actually do some burn damage. Well, it'll do some destruction anyway. And that's the only thing I can really think of doing. So yeah, I'm going to send my... The thing is, I could use the Egghead's effect, which does burn damage, but it's only 800 life points. It's not enough to actually get my opponent out. So like I said, I'm going to overlay these two monsters into Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. Shame I didn't have the rank up spell as well, otherwise I could have just beaten over them. And with its effect, I can then detach the Druidol. I will always go with Druidol because it has the ability to then recover itself. Getting rid of their Cyber Dark Dragon. I'll then end my turn. I don't think my opponent really knows what they're doing. They've got a couple of cards in hand. They've got a face down monster. They've set another face down monster. Can't be anything too useful, otherwise they would have summoned it. There you go, that's the card I wanted. The Rank Up Magic Argent Chaos Force. I then activate its effect. By doing so, I'm able to rank up my Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder into Gimmick Puppet Giant Hunter. In the anime, it's called Giant Killer, which is the Japanese variation on it, but I think they thought it was going to be a bit too grotesque to call it that. And here's my Chaos number 15. Using its effect, I'm able to detach a card. So I'm going to go with the Pistol. And then I get to target any of their cards. If I target a monster, then they take life point damage equal to the card that I've destroyed. Unfortunately, it's only 200 points, so it's not going to make a difference. Which is a real shame. I have a check of the various effects just to see if there's anything I need to use, but then I decide to just go into the battle phase. And it's probably a good idea that I did target the other monster, because at least that did some life point damage. This Winter Cherries has near 0 attack points. It would have just been destroyed. My opponent uses the effect of their Cyber Dragon Core in their graveyard by banishing it. They're able to summon a Cyber Dragon to their field. They normal summon a Cyber Dragon Core. My opponent activates their Power Bond. They go into their Chimeratech Rampage Dragon. Unfortunately, with double the attack points, that's more than enough to defeat me. With its effect, they're then able to destroy my back row card. And unfortunately, it's not one that just reacts to my opponent. And with that, they're able to beat over my Giant Hunter. It's a shame. I think this is one of the first times I've actually been able to summon that card and for its effect to be triggered. If it had only been a slightly stronger card that my opponent played, then they would have lost all their life points. So with this, we'll have a look and see if we can get any additional packs and what we can get in this brand new pack. Seems good. There's one secret rare. There's a number 92 Heart Earth Dragon. There's another number monster in there that I really like. And we've got a couple of the Cosmo support cards, so there's nothing wrong with what we picked up. It's quite decent. I'm more than happy with the selection we've got.